On the 26th of October 2023, the Economic Crime and Corporate Transparency Act was passed. This legislation brings Companies House and our legal framework into line with modern-day challenges.
Hi, my name is Louise Smythe. I'm Chief Executive of Companies House. These new powers represent a significant change for Companies House. They will enable us to improve the quality and accuracy of the data on the register, which in turn will give people more trust and confidence in their ability to use that data to make decisions.
So I think what it will mean is real improvements for the UK economy, for businesses, and also for individual citizens. And that's what really makes me passionate about coming to work. And I think that's something that's shared across the whole organisation. So in terms of changes, what we'll be able to do is to really help people in ways that we haven't been able to before.
It's a huge opportunity for us. We've got a real central role to play in tackling economic crime, but we've also got to deliver really good services to our customers and support the business environment here in the UK. So big changes, big transformation, but a real opportunity for Companies House, and we're already ready to go with it.
As part of the Act, the company's registrars for England and Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland will now have new objectives and new and enhanced powers.
My new objectives give us a clear sense of priorities, and the powers in the Act give us the tools to deliver our future activities.
Objective 1 is to ensure that any person who is required to deliver a document to the registrar does so, and that the requirements for proper delivery are complied with. Objective 2 is to ensure that information contained in the register is accurate and that the register contains everything it ought to contain. Objective 3 is to ensure that records kept by the registrar do not create a false or misleading impression to members of the public. And Objective 4 is to prevent companies and others from A. carrying out unlawful activities, or B. facilitating the carrying out by others of unlawful activities. We will go from being an organisation that accepts information in good faith to one that will actively scrutinise the information provided to us by companies. We'll be able to reject information that seems incorrect or remove it entirely. We'll also be able to challenge any inconsistencies between new and existing information on the register. When we identify irregularities, we'll contact companies to help us resolve them before we take any further action. We'll be increasing some of our fees in 2024. Our fees reflect the cost of delivery of our services. They will increase to fund the cost of our new powers and intelligence and enforcement work.
This is a large and complex set of changes. What that means is that they'll be introduced in phases over the coming years. Some of them will mean we need to change our systems, to change our processes, and we'll also need additional secondary legislation to bring them into force. You'll see some changes introduced from around spring 2024.
We'll start using our new powers to challenge, reject, or quickly remove inaccurate or incomplete information. All companies will need to have an appropriate address. Companies will not be able to use a PO box as their registered office address. All companies will have to supply a registered email address. We'll have stricter rules for company names to tackle misleading names and fraudulent companies. All companies will need to confirm that the activities of the company will be lawful. This will need to be confirmed every year on the confirmation statement. We'll be using our new powers to analyse and disclose information for the purposes of crime prevention or detection.
We're creating a hub for the very first time. We're going to be investing in systems and in people to develop our intelligence capability. That'll mean that we can share information more easily and quicker with our law enforcement partners. We already do some of that, but we'll be much more proactive in the future, playing that central role, supporting the UK's drive to tackle economic crime and to reduce criminality.
Longer term, changes to be introduced over the next few years include the introduction of compulsory identity verification for anyone setting up, running, owning or controlling a company in the UK. Streamlining the accounts filing options for small and micro-entity companies, and transitioning towards filing accounts by software only. There will be changes to make limited partnership information more accessible and transparent. An enhancement of the protection regime for personal information provided to Companies House to protect individuals from fraud and other harms. We will act if these changes are not complied with. There'll be serious consequences if a company does not respond to a formal request from Companies House for more information. This could include a financial penalty or prosecution. We'll also be annotating the register to let users know about potential issues with the information that's been supplied to us. There could be serious consequences for a company if their registered office is not an appropriate address. If an appropriate address is not provided, we may start the process to strike the company off the register. Our job is to make it easy for people to do business and to register their information with Companies House. But we've known for some time that UK companies have been misused by criminals to commit fraud, money laundering and other forms of economic crime. We'll be working more proactively, taking unprecedented steps to crack down on fraudulent activities and prevent further abuse of the register. We'll also be able to help victims of fraud more quickly. Our aim is to improve the quality and reliability of our data, which will in turn hugely increase the value of the register for businesses across the UK and beyond. Cleaning up the register won't happen overnight. We'll start gradually by using data matching to identify and remove information we know to be incorrect. We'll do more and more as our capacity grows. These changes will enable us to improve transparency over UK companies and other legal entities, ensuring that companies on the UK register are run responsibly, transparently, and with accountability. We'll share information about the introduction of these changes through our forums, our stakeholder newsletter, and on our new Economic Crime and Corporate Transparency Act campaign website.